President Trump announced a trade deal with the European Union. It's ended what's been months of uncertainty surrounding the United States' largest trading partner. The announcement came in less than 1 week before the August 1st deadline, when reciprocal tariffs would be imposed on countries that have not yet reached trade deals with the United States. So with the deadline fast approaching now, are we going to see a flurry of deals take place this week? Well, joining me now to discuss this is Mark Harris, who serves on 3 different House committees. He represents the 8th Congressional District of North Carolina. Congressman Harris, welcome back to Washington Watch. Great to see you, my friend.
Cody, it's great to see you, and thank you for having me this afternoon.
Well, it's our privilege, and listen, there's a lot going on, but this Liberation Day regarding tariffs, Trump announced it, I believe it's back in April. And for many people at that point, Congressman, there were a lot of concerns. But looking now, kind of from hindsight at what's unfolded since that announcement, what do you make of President Trump's move in regard to these tariffs?
Well, Jody, I think everybody had a bit of caution and concern as we stepped into this day of liberation. But President Trump certainly had a plan in place. And I think that we are seeing that plan sort of play out. And this announcement that came earlier about the deal that was made with the EU has just left everybody somewhat in amazement. I mean, to come out of this trade deal with $750 billion that EU is going to be involved with in terms of new investments in energy and investing $600 billion in the United States. Additionally to that, that's just been amazing. The fact that there's going to be the tariff of 15% on those things that are coming from Europe into the United States, and opening up the door for U.S. exports at 0 tariffs. All of these things have left people sort of in a state of shock to some degree. In fact, the reports I've been reading this afternoon, the folks in Europe are not real excited about it, but yet have recognized that this is the best deal that they were going to be able to come up with. So I think when you cut through all of it, President Trump has really, for the first time in decades, been a president that has taken trade seriously. And not only has he taken it seriously, but he has moved forward with steps of action. And I think the American people, we're going to see more of these that come forward, even throughout the balance of this week. We may continue to hear about more and more that will be rolled out.
Yep, I think you're right. It's probably going to be a very, very active week. It's just amazing, the art of the deal combined with his business experience and just his street smart savvy. Politically and otherwise, it really has been remarkable. And I think, as you stated, many have sat back once rather cautious, but now amazed at what seems to be unfolding. Okay, so President Trump last week celebrated 6 months in his second term. And House Republicans, yourself, on August break now, spending a lot of time in your districts talking about the successes of the last 6 months. At the same time, Democrats on the other side are trying to pit voters against both this administration and congressional Republicans. What do you hope is going to stick in the minds of the American people? And what are you hearing from the people in your district in regards to the direction our country is currently going?
Well, that's a great question, Jody. And I'm already hearing from folks in my district. As you know, I try to stay in tune in the district as much as possible. And now that we're back preparing here in August for a lot of work in district, we're already hearing from folks that are thankful for what's been getting done. I mean, I think everybody recognizes this has almost been a record-setting pace that this administration, working with the House and working with the Senate, have been able to move. I mean, we got the rescissions package through, which was very important. Before that, we were able to get the one big beautiful bill, reconciliation, done. And that really was work that was done before this Congress even got into place. Much of the work with Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise and the Whip Emmer and other committee chairs were already laying the groundwork for reconciliation. And so we were able to hit the ground running. We were able to see that pass. The Senate, of course, we sent the framework over. The Senate sent stuff back, and we simply saw that we were able to take up things that the Senate in some ways improved upon, in other ways not so much, but we were able to find ground to be able to pass it. And I think that's so important. And then this rescissions package that we passed was critically important as well. The $9 billion that pretty much took care of much of the USAID items. It was almost like a menu as you look down at as DOJ was identifying so much waste, fraud, and abuse that was going on. And then, of course, the defunding of NPR and these kind of things, PBS, those were also critically important. So I think when you ask, what do we hope that Americans will remember about this first 6 months, it's that it was this administration and it was this Congress that kept their taxes from going up dramatically as they would have had we not passed the one big beautiful bill. I hope they're going to remember what has happened at the border that President Trump promised. Promises made, promises kept. You can just list them off, I think, as folks begin to walk through them.
Yeah, it really has. Record setting, I think, is spot on in trying to describe what this first 6 months has been like. You mentioned the rescissions package. I'm hearing a significant amount of talk from members of Congress, some of my former colleagues, your colleagues, that there's probably going to be some more rescission packages in the future. Do you see that coming? And when do you think we can probably anticipate some of that rolling out?
Well, I hope we're going to see more rescission packages because let's face it, I mean, the $9 billion, I was very thankful that we were able to get that passed, but that was just a small portion of the hundreds of billions of dollars that DOJ identified, and we as Congress need to codify, and we need to make sure that we claw back that. So we're looking at the OMB from the White House sending up further rescission packages. I'm hearing some chatter that the next one that comes up may deal with education, and I think that's going to be well overdue that we see some rescission packages. The president has set a priority of dismantling the Department of Education, being able to move some things to other departments, and more than importantly, putting education back in the hands of our state and local communities, and putting the education of children back in the hands of their parents and giving parents school choice. So I think that there's really an appetite has been whetted, if you will, for a rescissions package that would deal with education and find ways that we're going to be able to make some moves there as we go back into the fall.
Great. Last question for you. We've got just a little bit over a minute, but earlier today, the Office of Personnel Management sent forth some guidance regarding protecting religious expression in the workplace. Give me your reaction to that. I'm being told that the basic bottom line, federal employees should never have to choose between their faith and their career. Amen to that, I say.
Jody, we're seeing things happen with this administration that you and I prayed for and have worked for a number of years. And how many times have we tried to tell people that our First Amendment freedom means that we are free to live and work in a way that is consistent with our faith. And as believers and followers of Christ, that means being faithful to live out our faith each and every day. And that includes sharing with people what it means to be a Christian. And from what I understand in this ruling that came down today, it says that people are free to share their faith in the workplace, even if it's a matter of them seeking to persuade, not in any way to be overbearing and not in a way to put people in a bad spot, but truly, from our perspective, being able to be free to share your faith.
Congressman Mark Harris from North Carolina. He's one of the good guys. Thank you for standing for Christ. Thank you for standing for our Constitution and the American people in your own district. God bless you. Thanks for joining us on Washington Watch.